So we've got a story here today. West Coast exodus drives surprising political effect in red state, and it's not a liberal shift. What's that all about? Let's find out next. Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here, your great real estate agent by your side when it comes time to buy a home, sell a home, or even relocate right here to the Treasure Valley in Idaho. Hey, so Ann sent this story over, and I thought it was pretty interesting, and I thought I'd want to go ahead and share with you. It's from Fox News, and it talks about how West Coast exodus, people from Oregon, Washington, California, Cal as we call it, California, Oregon, Washington, are moving to Idaho and the impact that it's having. So I thought this was pretty interesting. Apparently a big sentiment is Idahoans don't want anybody to come in and turn Idaho into one of those liberal states, and you can't blame them there, but it turns out that's really not the case. In the news story video, Nick here talks about how he came over from Portland, and he is very excited to not turn Idaho into Portland. He said that we could go ahead and close the door now that he's here in Idaho.
Wow.
How many of you guys have said that? And Idaho is definitely growing redder as West Coast conservatives move in. And just a little side note from this article, we recently had our Republican state convention. And one of the things that we got from that is the Republican RINOs took a real beating. They got spanked pretty bad. And the Idaho Patriots, if you want to call them that, the more liberty-loving, freedom-oriented people are now the ones that have more the reins of control in the state. Whether that's your local county and precinct representatives, or even because of our primary that we had earlier, what was it, last month, that we got a lot more of the Patriots in and more of the RINOs out. So maybe a lot of that is because of the people that have moved into Idaho from these other states, and they don't want to see us go down the road that their state went. I thought this is a pretty interesting graphic as well, the political affiliations of voters moving to Idaho. And it looks like, gosh, really anybody coming out of California is very conservative. 75%, only 10% Democrats, and then the 14% unaffiliated. So the ones that come into Idaho are very conservative coming from there. And let's take a look at Oregon, 65% Republican, 19% unaffiliated, only 15% Democrats. 12% Democrats from Washington State, 62% of Republicans. And you know why that number of Republicans might be a little bit lower is because of the RINOs. And the RINOs in Washington State, people didn't like it. They were conservative, so they just went unaffiliated. That's probably why we're seeing that unaffiliated number so high. That makes sense to me. And then they're moving to Idaho, and they're helping to vote out the RINOs, getting in more conservatives. So moving on in this story, some of the examples of reasons why people might be leaving Washington State is that their area officials no longer want juveniles locked up or in cells. They just, as teen crime just goes on the increase, they don't want any punishment or accountability for the teens that are committing it. And back in Idaho, this is focusing more on northern Idaho, but I think it holds true for probably the entire state. As we get population gains, it does bring economic opportunity, but it does make for some housing hardships. And some of those hardships are that there's more demand because more people are actually looking for them. But as you've been watching other videos on this channel and getting my weekly newsletter that goes out every Wednesday, if you don't get that, make sure you go to www.getdavesemail.com and sign up to make sure you don't miss that email. And it comes out just every Wednesday, and I don't spam you with anything else. But one of the things that we talked about recently in my newsletter and also on some videos is how these institutional buyers are coming around and buying up starter homes basically to turn them into rentals. And I think that's probably having more of an impact than anybody moving to Idaho. Sure, people are moving here. The impact that they're having is a net positive. These institutional buyers buying up and taking up the inventory of homes that people who are just, at the lower end getting started, they need those. They're not getting them. So don't blame all this negative stuff on people moving to Idaho.
I see the Democrats as being far more oppressive than the conservatives.
The last thing I'm going to do is be the libertarian from Portland, show up here and be like, hey man, this place is way better than where I came from. Now, you know what you knuckle draggers need to do is start doing things the way we did them in Portland. You know, I'm not here to do that. I'll listen to what they have to say. You know, I'm not pushing for legal pot in Idaho. I don't care. If they want to keep it illegal, that's fine with me.
May 2020 to March 2024, Multnomah County lost about 3,600 Republicans, but just about 100 Democrats. Washington County gained about 3,000 Democrats and lost about 7,000 Republicans. It could be that they re-registered as an unaffiliated voter or that they even registered as a Democrat. But Multnomah County doesn't have very many registered Republicans. So the fact that sort of all the losses on one side of the ledger, that suggests to me, it's suggestive, but that suggests to me that our more conservative friends in Multnomah County, Republican neighbors, have decided to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't really argue with the numbers. The Republicans are leaving and the Democrats are staying. Hope they like laying in the bed that they've made over there. So thanks, Ann, for sending that story over and giving me the chance to share it with everybody. I think there was some good information in there. So thanks for checking this video out. And remember, if you need some help buying a home, selling a home, or even relocating here to the Treasure Valley, give me a holler. I'd be glad to help you. You know I would. And guess what? We'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for stopping in and learning more about real estate in Nampa, Idaho and the Treasure Valley. If you'd like to learn more, watch this video here next or binge on this playlist. When it comes time to sell a home, buy a home, or even relocate to the Treasure Valley, your Treasure Valley Dave team is your real estate expert by your side, helping you get home.